Alright guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. In the previous episode, we finally got the engine back into the Series 2 Escort RS Turbo. And I say we because everyone on the forums has helped me in this build, and my wife even helped me put the engine back in the car. So it's definitely a we on this occasion. But there's heaps more we need to do before I can plug in all the wiring or even make the wiring harness. So let's turn the camera around and have a look at what we've got to do.
Now I gotta ride or die.
Alright, so as you can see, the front bumper is still off. I haven't got the fan on the front yet. In the previous video, I did say I was going to just keep running the stock fan for a bit, which means I need to go around to the other house and get it, because I'm pretty sure it's in the other shed. Drive shafts and everything are not in. You know, you can see the whole kind of front hub assembly there. Looks like it's gone cross-eyed. Turbo sat here. A little bit of like corrosion on the cast iron bit of the turbo, but that's to be expected, to be fair. I did get an adapter plate for the rear here with a V-band attachment, and I'll show you that in a second as well. In fact, I'll just put a picture of it up here on the screen. Actually bought the wrong one, so I've had to buy another before I can put that on and start making up the downpipe. But we need to do injector rail, the whole intake manifold, throttle body and crossover pipe. And then, of course, we've got this wiring loom that is connected inside the car to almost everything. Well, it's connected to the car wiring harness, but it's not connected to the dash, obviously. Shipped to Australia, supplied by Sean Ford Max Lomax. Yeah, so as you can see, there is absolutely tons and tons that I need to do today. So weather permitting, I'm going to get as much of it done as I can. Yeah. But yeah, I need to go and get the fan from the other house, the radiator fan. So let's hit a cold startup in the Ranger Raptor. We'll see what that sounds like in the completely stock exhaust. I haven't videoed this, so I don't know if it's going to be absolutely pants or not. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think of the cold start on a brand new factory standard 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Let's go get that fan. So first job on the list was to properly secure the alternator to its bracket on the front of the engine block. So here I go doing that, and as I'm doing that, it starts raining and I just start getting soaked as I'm doing that. So this weather's horrible, guys. I was just laid on the car, underneath the car, you saw there, and you can see where the water is coming in, like where it's raining here and where I'm undercover. It's absolutely atrocious right now. We're actually supposed to be getting the offcuts, or like the edges of a big storm, a cyclone they're calling Cylcone Alfred. So cheers, Alfred, for the lovely weather that you're putting on. Ugh, absolutely gross. I'm going to keep trudging on as best I can. Oh man, this is horrible. You know what? Let's pause this, and I'll see you guys here tomorrow for me, in a few seconds for you. Alright, so the weather cleaned up a little bit, and so I did manage to get some stuff done, like get the front bumper on and the radiator fan and all that sort of stuff. And now I'm just basically putting the, great view for you guys there as well. Now I'm just basically putting in the front anti-roll bar, or the front sway bar, whatever you want to call it, putting that in. This was super fiddly to get in, and I had to also remember that whilst I was doing this, I had to make sure that I put the drive shafts in before I actually pushed the anti-roll bar through the lower control arm on the front hub assembly, because if you don't put the drive shaft in before you push the sway bar through that little lower control arm there, you will never get that drive shaft in. So make sure if you're doing this job, you do that. Now, as you can see, it's super fiddly, but I did, in the end, eventually get it in. Pretty much just in time for it to start hammering it down again. So I basically called it a day there for the first day, went inside, cleaned up, and came back the next day. Alrighty guys, it's a new day. The weather is a little bit better. It's not raining today, still a bit overcast, but it's much nicer. Now, it did stop yesterday for a little bit, so I did manage to get a little bit of work done. You can see I got the front bar on, or the bumper, depending on what part of the world you're from, is to guess what you're gonna call it. The intercooler, a radiator fan. I just need to put my spotlights on, which are just sat on the ground over there with my torque wrench. I've just sat this bottom half of the intake manifold on. You guys know that I'm still running the MFI block, so I have to use the adapter plate for the MFI head, sorry. So I still have to use the adapter plate for the Fiesta RS Turbo intake manifold and injector rail. These injectors are this Bosch part number. They're 440 cc injectors, so that's going to be more than enough for what I need. And interestingly enough, these actually come standard in a car here in Australia in a Holden Commodore. They come in the LS1 V8 motor from General Motors, so they're definitely going to be enough for this 1.6 8-valve turbocharged Escort engine. Yeah guys, I don't have the gasket for this part of the intake manifold, and I don't have the gasket for the throttle body either. Not terribly worried about that because I can just get some gasket making stuff and make it myself. I don't necessarily need to buy that from the UK and wait for that to arrive. But today, what I'm going to do is bolt down that bottom half of the intake manifold, just kind of sit everything, you know, where it's going to go so I can just admire it and see how pretty it looks. I'm going to finish bolting in my drive shafts, and my steering knuckle end links are there. They're just kind of sat in there and just done up knuckle tight or finger tight even. So yeah, but the goal of today is to get the wheels back on and get the car on the ground. So let's go. Out comes my new Ryobi Ugga gun just to put the nuts back on for the drive shaft and hold those in place. So whilst I'm doing that, I also had to remember that I needed to tighten down the sway bar in the end of the knuckle there, and also tighten down the end of the steering rack, the little knuckles, the tie rod end links at the end of the steering rack as well. And I'd almost finished thinking, okay, cool, I'm ready to put the car back down on the ground. And as you can see, I'm underneath the car there, just connecting up the gearbox linkage because I'd completely forgot to do the gearbox linkage. You know what, guys? That is where I'm going to stop today. It is (2:47) in the afternoon, and it's horrible. Like, to be honest with you, it's shit working out here in the rain. I got some stuff there, just getting soaked. So just gonna step in here out of the rain. You can probably hear it on the roof of the tin shed. Yeah, you know what, guys? I'm gonna call it. That's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Tune in next time where hopefully the car is back down on the ground and I'm doing a wiring loom for the Haltech Elite. I think I bought the 1500. Yeah, the Haltech Elite 1500 ECU. Cheers, guys. See you next time.